Greetings everyone, Joseph James here from theschooloftrade.com. Today was February 19th, 2010. Here's your live trading recap. We finished up a very challenging week here, guys, with one of the biggest days of the year. Over 100 ticks today out of the room, only 4 contracts. Before we talk about those trades, though, I want to remind you guys, we have 3 important links in the description of the YouTube page. If you're watching this video right now on the YouTube page, 3 important links. One for our blog, lots of great videos there. Our 12-month track record is the second link, and the third link is for our free 3-week trial. That's right. We'll give you guys free 3 weeks. Come out and join us. No credit card needed. Come out and join us on Monday morning, 7:45 a.m. Let's see how we did today. 2, 4, 6, 8 total trades. You guys can see 106 ticks in. Had 2 losses in there. Had a couple big winners, a couple small winners. We'll go over those with you guys here one by one. Of course, that brings our monthly total here to $6,175. We're averaging still over $700 a day, only 4 contracts, and now we've brought in over $15,000 in just the first 2 months of the year so far, guys. Having a great week, great month, of course, great year of 2010. We'll keep you guys posted throughout the rest of the month of February. Now, what's the most important that happened today? Well, guys, today was a Friday, so we knew going into today, how'd the rest of the week look? Monday was a holiday. Tuesday, I was off, right? Wednesday and Thursday, very challenging. We had not much going on, very slow, sluggish price action. So today was a Friday. We knew going in, it was the end of the week. And what we know about that is we expect to see volume and price action slow down a little bit earlier than normal. So today was a Friday. We expected to see that happen a little bit earlier. We had to be sure, though, to forget all the challenges we went through earlier this week. Now, yesterday was a great example of this because yesterday was a day where we had to kind of dig out of a hole we got ourselves into, and it really brought that confidence back to our trading. If you were with us yesterday, it was like night and day between before 10:30 and after 10:30 when we finally got back out of that hole we were trying to dig ourselves out of. And guys, when we do that, it brings all that confidence forward, and that confidence showed up today in Friday's price action. So you guys, you can really see how one day can easily set up another day if we aren't following our rules. If we would have gone with a big loss yesterday, today would have been one of those days where we were kind of a little bit hesitant to get in the market. So we knew, of course, we had to forget about the challenges we had earlier this week. Whatever happened yesterday, the day before, it's in the past. We can't change it now. Focus on today and only today, right? The best thing you can do for your trading is to focus on what's happening right now. Of course, we want to learn from mistakes we made yesterday. I want to learn from them, but I don't want to let them rule my trading. Follow the plan as if we had a winning day yesterday as well. All right, guys, it's the most important thing. Fridays end up early. Okay, so be on the lookout for Friday coming to a close early. It's a Friday. And, of course, also want to make sure we won't stumble across the challenges we had from yesterday and the day before. All right, so 8 total trades today, guys, 106 ticks. What a way to finish up the week. Had a challenging week. This is a great way to finish up and get us going into the weekend. And it reminds us that we've just simply got to work through the challenging days, and days like today will come. Right? It's days like today that make those 10, 14, 20 tick days all worthwhile because, as you can see here, this makes enough money here to make some pretty good progress this week. So the first 2 trades are on crude. We threw in a couple Russell trades here, but mostly everything today, guys, was on crude. Had a pretty good price action today on the CL, the crude oil. So here we go. First trade of the day, guys. First trade of the day here on crude, 907. We, of course, are looking at a breaker pattern long here. Now, a breaker pattern, of course, what is it? It's a trend continuation pattern. In a trend continuation pattern, the breaker pattern, as you can see, we got the short-term trend up. I know my short-term trend is up because I look at my trigger line here, right? Trigger line, nice and steep slope up. You'll notice we have above us here a high of day. Now, whenever I see the high of day, I'm always thinking to myself, a little bit higher risk now, right? The high of day is always going to be one of those real strong, firm levels of overhead resistance. Everybody knows about them. They're high-profile levels. So rather than buying the highs, sometimes we look to fade the highs, right? To sell the highs. Whatever it is around the high of day, we've got to be paying attention to. If I'm going to take a long trade here, which of course we ended up doing here at 907, if I'm going to take a long trade, I've got to see green pace of a tape, lots of big buyers, momentum pointing up. Okay, think about it. The high of day is a very tough overhead level of resistance. So we're going to want to see as much potential buy pressure as we possibly can. Now, this is one of the only times in the pre-market this morning, notice this is before 9:30, that we saw a green pace of a tape. So we saw a green pace of a tape breaking through the high of day here. We then, of course, marked up our swing high here, just about 79.80, a little bit lower than that. We got filled there on the breaker pattern long as we broke above that 79.80, came over, and of course you can see it broke above that level right here. We got filled at 80 even. We got our +4, +8, and +3, right? Take 2 off at 4, 1 off at 8, and then 1 off at 3. That totals 19 ticks. or 190 USD on the first trade of the day. So this is a breaker pattern long. That's a trend continuation pattern, and the key here was making sure we had that green pace of a tape and lots of buyers there at the high of day to push right through it. Let's keep moving. Next up on crude, this came only a couple minutes after the 9:35 alarm went off, so now we're after the 9:30 open. So now we're out of the pre-market. We didn't have very much as far as news events go today. We had something at 10 o'clock. We had Mexico retail something at 10 o'clock today, but nothing really, only that CPI number at 8:30. So after 9:30, we were pretty much on cruise control until about 11 o'clock, and we expected to see lunchtime set in. Short-term trend here is up. You can tell that by looking at the slope of my trigger line. Now this, of course, once again, we're seeing a high of day. Now this time, this was the previous day's high of day, so a little bit different, but the same principles. Okay, the previous day's high of day, another overhead level of resistance. We expect there to be some sellers into the market there. So of course we're looking for a breaker long up top here above 95s. Got that big round number of 80 right above us here, right? Big round number of 80 there. We want to be worried about. But we basically looked for the two-step short going against the short-term trend. Marked up my swing low, and we break below that swing low. As you can see here, guys, at 9:44 on the crude, a two-step pattern short, a trend continuation pattern. 62 was the fill. We got a +4, 2 off at 4, 1 off at 8, 1 off at 2. There's 18 ticks total, or 180 USD at 9:44 on this counter trend trade. So once again, guys, if you're unfamiliar with the two-step pattern is actually real simple. It's a trend reversal again, which means the short-term trend is up. We're going to look for a break above this level, but if we don't see the break above that 79.75 level, we come back down, we mark up our swing low, and we break below that swing low. Again, counter trend trade here at 9:44 for another 18 ticks. So the second trade of the day, guys, a two-step, a trend reversal pattern. Now the key to a two-step, guys, is to get below the trigger line. Right? If you look back up here, guys, this trigger line here, okay, you can see we want to get below the trigger line. Once I get below that trigger line, I have all that room below me for this short trade to work out. So second trade today, guys, on crude. Let's keep moving. At this point, we had, 37 ticks in our pocket so far, so we were doing pretty well at 9:45.